You're listening to Trueheart. Amy and Scott Mallon dive deep with celebrities, mavericks, visionaries, and real-life heroes to find out what sets their souls on fire. Get ready for some trockings. Here's Amy and Scott.
If you want to learn the secrets to having an amazing life, keep it locked here for today's episode of Trueheart, because we have Olympic gold medalist Meryl Davis in the house. Woohoo! Well, actually in the virtual house, but you know how it goes today. So we are so excited to welcome you to Trueheart. We are Amy and Scott Mallon. This is the first episode of our podcast. We created this show for all of you, and we're super excited to chat with celebrities, mavericks, visionaries, and philanthropists about what sets their souls on fire and the impact that they're making in the world.
Absolutely. I'm psyched. Let's go.
And we want you to subscribe and like our podcast, leave a great review wherever podcasts are found. And if you want the full experience, head on over to YouTube and subscribe there.
And don't forget, we started a search engine that is this amazing platform that gives back. We donate 80% of our net profits to charity. We're benefiting 6 charities: Global Green, Action Against Hunger, PFLAG National, Smile Chain, Four Paws for Ability, and Variety Boys and Girls Clubs. And they are doing amazing work to transform the world. So what we came up with was this idea that all you got to do is search with us. You don't have to donate any money. It's free. It's easy. We don't require any of your information, like your email. Just do a search, and we will then donate 80% of those profits that we get from, like, if you click on an ad or whatever, that will go to charity. So it's a super free and easy way to help transform the world while still getting the same great results that you would normally get from any other search engine.
So we hope you join our community so we can change the world with every search together. Today's episode is The Heart of a Champion, and we have a very special guest. Meryl Davis and Charlie White are the 2014 Olympic ice dance champions. Born and raised in the suburbs of Detroit, Meryl began ice skating lessons at the age of 5, and by 9 years old, she was teamed up with Charlie, and their journey together began. Off the ice, Meryl attended full-time public school, where despite being challenged with a learning disability, she excelled and graduated with honors. In particular, Meryl developed a fascination with science, literature, and foreign language. These interests, coupled with Meryl and Charlie's years of international travel for skating, inspired Meryl to pursue her degree in cultural anthropology at the University of Michigan. Meryl is a board member at the nonprofit Figure Skating in Detroit, which provides girls access to figure skating and programs that foster confidence, leadership, and a healthy lifestyle. Meryl is also the author of a brand new children's book entitled Moonwalk, Forever by Your Side. So let's get into it with today's guest, Meryl Davis.
When I watch figure skating, I always get super nervous because, you think about somebody or a team that have trained for so long, their whole lives, and they get out there and, man, just one little slip up, one fall, anything, like not even a fall, but just something with your partner, and there's so many things that can go wrong. It's such an interesting microcosm of life, right? You prepare, and then you get there and it's time. How is that? Take us through just a little bit, what that was like. When you that gold winning, performance, and what was going through your mind? What do you think about? Because it's obviously you prepared for so long, but man, it's all on the line, and there's not a lot of examples of that in life where it's just this is your one shot, and what was that like? The pressure must have been insane, but what did it feel like? What did you go through?
Oh, yes, it is stressful, even to just think back to that mindset. And I think you used the word microcosm, which is so on the nose. I think when you're in it and you're so committed to those goals and that world that you're existing in, it feels like everything is sort of existing in that space. and everything is riding on those moments. And I think particularly, like you said, for figure skating, but even more so ice dance, where mistakes are less common than the other disciplines of figure skating. Um, a small slip up, a small mistake can make the difference between you know being at the top of the podium, making your lifelong dreams sort of a reality and come true, and just seeing those hopes and dreams just like fade away, just with a snap of a finger. And it's crazy to think about. And I think that in so many ways, you have to, as an athlete, as a figure skater, you have to learn to accept that there's only so much within your control, but the things within your control, you have to embrace and, embrace them wholeheartedly. And I think that when Charlie and I were working towards Sochi in 2014, and before that, of course, but we felt as though we left no stone unturned, because we knew that that's all we could do, was to prepare for the best of our ability. Um, and whether it was a mistake or, getting the flu the day before, like the competition of your life, like whatever it is, there's so much that is not within your control. But to understand what you do have control over, and do everything you possibly can, I think is what we leaned into as athletes. And um, that pressure is I remember in October of 2013, September, October. So the Olympics were our second Olympic Games were in February of 2014. I remember being at the rink at practice with Charlie in the fall, the prior fall, thinking, I'm already so nervous about the Olympic Games in February. I can't even imagine how we'll feel as it gets closer, or when we're there, just because it felt as though there was so much riding on it. There was just years of, our own efforts, and the people around us and our families had put so much into it. And like you said, just one mistake, it can all just slip away in the snap of a finger. But just preparation and yeah, and I think that also perspective, because I remember, I said earlier that when I think Charlie and I were maybe 12 or 13, we were sort of in the position to win this competition as kids. That was, it was like the end all be all at that stage of our lives and our careers. And in the last maybe 5 seconds of our final performance of the competition, I fell, and we ended up, instead of ending up in first place, as I think we were sort of expected to, we ended up in third place. And this was, the U.S. Championships, and at that stage of our careers, that was like the end all be all competition. And I was so upset. I was so disappointed. I was embarrassed, and I was sorry to have sort of ruined that opportunity for Charlie as well. And I remember Charlie's grandfather, I was like crying backstage afterwards. I felt so badly. And Charlie's grandfather came up to me and said, why are you crying? Like, this isn't something to cry about. He said, you have your family, you have your friends, everyone loves you. No one, your family loves you. No one thinks any less of you for having made this mistake in sport. And so there are things to get upset about in life. There are things, that warrant tears. This isn't one of them. This is just a mistake. And, I remember, I think that lesson for me as a kid was so huge, because while figure skating was really important to me, it was my dream. It was something I committed so much of my life to, and so much time and energy. At the end of the day, my family and the people who were important in my life, their opinions of me weren't going to change depending on what happened on the ice. And skating was just sort of always icing on the cake. And so I think that dealing with that pressure, whether it was that, competition when we were 11, or, being at the Olympic Games, working to stand on top of the podium, years later, maintaining that perspective of, at the end of the day, having, the love of friends and family was really all that mattered, is what helped to maintain like the intensity of those very high pressure moments.
Well, speaking of the podium, Meryl, you worked so hard your entire life to get on top of that podium and win that gold medal. Was it everything that you ever dreamed of as a child?
Yeah, I mean, I think that looking back now, the experiences in the lead up to those moments are really what I value most, and the relationships that I built along the way. And I think that, standing on top of the Olympic podium, hearing the national anthem, I remembered at that time sitting on the floor in 1998 watching Tara Lipinski win her Olympic gold medal and just thinking, wow, that's the dream. What a cool experience. And so then to be living it, with Charlie after years of hard work and dedication was pretty surreal. But I would say the thing that meant the most to me then and now is getting to share those experiences with, Charlie, with whom, we overcame so many obstacles over our years and years of, working to pursue our dreams. And then to have my parents, standing there sharing in that moment with us, was just so tremendous. And just to reflect on the people who had supported us along the way was what meant the most for sure. And I think too, we had made so many mistakes, in practice and competition, and of course not everything is perfect in pursuit of those moments. And I remember feeling that as we were heading into Sochi in 2014, I remember feeling so appreciative of the mistakes that we had made, because it had informed our ability to approach those Olympic Games the way that we wanted to. So the highs were great, the successes were great, but the difficult times and the lessons we learned from those challenges along the way really helped us to be in a place at that stage of our careers that we could approach this opportunity in the way that we needed to. And so to then be in that moment celebrating that win, reflecting on the challenges and then overcoming those challenges, learning from them, and then being able to stand on top of the podium, was pretty special.
So, what were those biggest life lessons that you learned as an Olympian, and how have they translated to everyday life for you?
Hmm. So many. And it's interesting because I spent so much of my life as an athlete that it's very difficult to identify lessons that I learned that weren't somehow incorporated in the world of sport. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that for me, one of the most important lessons is just um, maintaining perspective. Because I will say that I I think that especially as a kid, when you idolize these people, whether it's sort of in your field or just, anywhere really, um, you think that that success and that achievement is what gives those people value or makes them happy or makes their lives better. And I will say that, I think it's important that I was not any happier necessarily being on top of the podium in Sochi in 2014 than I was standing in second place in 2010 at our first Olympic Games in Vancouver. And I think that for me, that's a really important lesson that I want to take forward into the rest of my life it was about that feeling of working hard, feeling as though we had done everything we possibly could and taking pride in that more so than it was the piece of hardware or the end result. And I think it's so important to continue taking with us because so often we are looking towards what's next, or like what's next, where can I grow to, or like what's my next goal, or what's my next dream. And I think sometimes in doing so we miss the opportunity to enjoy where we are at the time, or that present moment. And I think that's a lesson that I really want to take with me moving forward. Because moments are fleeting, and I think that enjoying them and being present is so important, as opposed to always looking forward or looking for, what's next, or what's better, what's around the corner. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I think there are so many lessons, to be learned from those experiences that I had and for myself. But I think that for me, that is the most important, is learning to pursue, happiness and fulfillment over, obvious success.
You have such a great perspective on it. And I think most people think when they're striving towards a goal, whatever that goal is, if I just get there, then I'll be happy, and then it'll all be worth it, and then my life will change magically. There'll be a mystical experience, and I will have arrived. And it's not true, because either you don't achieve it, and you're always regretting that you didn't ever get there, or you do achieve it, and then the realization dawns on you that, well, this, like you just said, it's fleeting, and then it passes, and it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? So I think your perspective on it is so interesting and right on point, because I mean, who else? There's not that many people in the world you can talk to and say, no, you actually did it. You worked your whole life and you won a gold medal. I mean, that's like,
well, and to be literally the best in the world
Yeah,
at something
achieved
is remarkable.
Yeah. And so for you to say, look, it's really about the journey, and it's about the friendships you made along the way, and the love and the support, that's what you take forward. And that it's the sharing in that moment with them that really meant the most to you. It just shows like why you're not like, well, you're not crazy, and you're like, we're able to transition into like another part of your life, which is successful and happy, because you just kept that perspective. And I think it's so important for people to know, for everybody, that like, it's great to strive towards things, but at the end of the day, there are things that are out of your control, and you just give it your best shot. And you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. And I think particularly now in this world of social media, it's so easy, and I certainly deal with this myself. I mean, it's so easy to look around and see they have this, or they're doing that, or look at their house, or look at their body, or look at their bank account, or their outfit, or like whatever it is. It's far too easy now to see other people's lives and think that like it will make me happy. It would make me happy if I had this, or if I did that, or if I looked like this, or all of these things. And I think it's important to have these conversations, because the reality is, I think it's the life you live in between along the way that makes you happy, and the real moments, as opposed to checking things off the list, or achieving things. And yeah, I think it's so difficult to remember these days, and even for me, even though I had those experiences, and that's why I admire what you guys are doing. And I think part of the beauty of having these conversations is hearing other people's experiences, hearing their stories, and remembering that you're not alone in feeling the way that you're feeling, or experiencing the challenges, or emotions that you might be going through. So yeah, and you're so right, Scott. I think we think like, if I can just win that, I'll be happy, I'll be cool, I'll have value, I'll be da 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 da. And then you get there and you think, well, maybe like I'll set this new goal, and then when I get there, that will be true. Yeah, I think that social media just unfortunately can so often enhance that experience.
Absolutely agree. Scott said something to me about a week ago that was really profound, and it relates to what you were saying about always looking.
It was only profound because I didn't actually come up with it.
Well,
just parroted it. I parroted it.
But in the way that he related it back to, my life, and then how I internalized it meant so much to me. And I said to Scott, it was about, what you were saying, always looking ahead and chasing these goals on the horizon. But we don't really spend enough time looking back and appreciating how far we've come. And it hit me when I was in my hot yoga class, and I'm on my mat, and I just heard Scott's voice in my head saying that. And I remembered, for me, like, as someone who survived being trafficked and sexually assaulted and been through domestic violence, and being in this place now where I'm truly happy and healthy, and my pain and my trauma does not control me on a daily basis, and it's not ruining my present and destroying my future, but I'm turning it into a powerful way to help others. in that moment, when I heard Scott's voice in my head, I just was weeping on my mat. And I realized, wow, if I just look back a few years at this journey that I've taken and how far that I've come, I should be proud of myself. I'm this evolved human being who now is in this place where everything's okay, and I'm not afraid of these past traumas because I know that they can't hurt me now. And wow, like it's amazing if we all just stop and evaluate all the things that we've been through in our lives and look back and take a moment and be proud of that. And I don't think enough of us are doing that. We're constantly so hard on ourselves, our worst critics, judging ourselves, pushing ourselves towards the brink of, physical and emotional exhaustion to just reach for things that maybe we'll achieve, maybe we won't, but then we're never satisfied, instead of realizing the things we've already accomplished are so tremendous and there's value in appreciating them.
Oh my gosh, Amy, that's so powerful. And I totally agree. It's so beautiful to hear you say that. And I know the amazing work you do is so inspired by, some of the challenges that you face throughout your life. And I think that's so incredibly admirable and powerful to have turned these challenges and difficulties into something that you can work to improve the lives of others with. So I commend you, and I'm always in awe of the work that you do. And of course, probably the most valuable is not necessarily the work you do with the world and with, a larger community, but with your children, and to be, raising two wonderful kids, being informed by both the wonderful things and the challenging things that you faced in your life, and then to raise your children, having learned those lessons, and to try to share, your perspective with them is so powerful.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Trueheart is brought to you by Tushy. Are you still wiping your butt with all that toilet paper you hoarded last year? How's that going for you? Let me introduce you to a new way to clean after you handle your business. Meet Hello Tushy. Tushy is the modern bidet that easily clips to any toilet and installs in just 10 minutes. Starting at just $99, Tushy sprays a precise stream of clean water and washes away all of that literal crap that toilet paper leaves behind. Upgrade your bathroom experience by going to HelloTushy, TUSHY.com. That's HelloTushy.com. Tushy saves the environment and reduces your carbon butt print. Tushy saves you money on toilet paper, and Tushy saves your butt. Go to HelloTushy, that's TUSHY.com. Stop wiping, start washing with Tushy.
Can we talk about how obsessed we are with our Tushy? So we got one of
Obsessed
these.
with my Tushy.
We got one of these during the pandemic, and it was after you waited online at Costco for like an hour.
The zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have to fight off some zombies to get a few rolls of toilet paper for our family.
I did.
And I thought there has to be a better way.
And there was.
Yes, and the woman is always right, which feels good a little bit. But
I've learned that the hard way.
since we got the Tushy, it's just been transformational for our family.
I was a little bit more skeptical than you were because my parents actually have a bidet at their house that they have never used, not once. But it's like, it's like that Crocodile Dundee thing that was like next to it, like the full bidet.
Yeah.
And just, how do you even sit on that thing? So I was kind of like, I don't know if this will work, but once I was the one who installed it, and it was easy. And once it was installed, I was like, this is legit a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so beneficial for our kids, for us. You just feel like fresher, cleaner, healthier. You're not running around with like gunk in your butt all the time.
It's super gross, but I will say this. If you use something like this, you use a Tushy and then you clean yourself with water and then you go out or you have to use a bathroom where there is just normal dry toilet paper, what are we in the dark ages? I mean, it literally feels horrible.
Yeah, it's very strange. You're not going to want to like pee or do your business in a public restroom after using the Tushy
That's why
at
I use
home.
bushes, people. No, but seriously, the Tushy is like legit. And we try to only have stuff on our podcast that we like really believe in personally that's like a sustainable brand helping the world. And this is one of those things like
It's a no-brainer.
so much less waste, so much less paper waste, and it's literally 1,000 times more hygienic. So get down with it. You
Get
will
down
not
with
be
Tushy.
sorry.
Trueheart is brought to you by This Saves Lives. This Saves Lives is a ridiculously delicious food brand that gives back. Every single purchase sends life-saving food to a child in need. Co-founders Kristen Bell, Ryan Devlin, Todd Grinnell, and Ravi Patel launched This Saves Lives with a simple motto: buy a bar, feed a child, we eat together. Now with more than just bars, their products contain premium ingredients and are non-GMO, gluten-free, and kosher dairy. Their unique line of kids' products all contain one full serving of fruits and vegetables and are safe for school. To buy their ridiculously delicious snacks, head on over to thisSavesLives.com. Trueheart is brought to you by Half United.
For over a decade, lifestyle brand Half United has been using fashion to feed people all over the world. To break the cycle of generational poverty, the community provides gainful employment to local artisans in vulnerable communities who create their handmade and sustainable products. For every Half United product purchased, 7 meals are given to a child in need. Half United has donated over 1 million meals to date. Shop their beautiful jewelry, teas, handbags, and home accessories at halfunited.com and help fight global hunger.
Trueheart is brought to you by Brothers Meatballs. Say ciao to tradition and hello to your new favorite plant-based Italian bistro in Los Angeles, Brothers Meatballs. Brothers Meatballs was founded by brothers and food industry veterans Mauro and Sergio Corbia, who hail from the Isle of Sardinia, Italy. When they joined forces with second-generation Italian chef Mark Middleman, their self-proclaimed brother from another mother, the concept for Brothers Meatballs was born. Mauro was the founder and creator of Mauro's Cafe inside Fred Siegel, a long-standing LA hotspot. Dissatisfied with the amount of plant-based dining options reminiscent of the home-cooked meals their mother once made, the brothers were determined to create a menu so delicious it would appeal to herbivores and omnivores alike. Inspired by the food Mama so lovingly prepared for Sunday suppers, these meatballs are a modern take on a family classic. All menu items are 100% plant-based and made with Mama's secret ingredient, love. Angelinos can order lunch and dinner Wednesday through Sunday at brothersmeatballs.com.
Trueheart is brought to you by Mountain. Mountain Co. is a hyper-sustainable clothing and media startup on a mission to abolish the fast fashion industry. They put the planet over profit, always. Manufactured in Portugal using 100% organic, fair trade, and recycled materials, every product is designed to give back to the world. When you purchase one of their endangered collection tees, you are helping elephant sanctuaries across Thailand support conservation, sanctuary expansion, and education programs. Learn more at mountain.co. That's MNTN.co.
We're having a blast talking with our friend Meryl Davis today. Don't forget to head on over wherever podcasts are found, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and a review. We appreciate all of you. Let's jump back into our chat with today's guest, Meryl Davis. Well, I love the mission of figure skating in Detroit, and it's such a girl power organization, and using figure skating to transform the lives of girls in communities of high need. What are some of the takeaways that you've seen from working with these young girls of how their confidence has soared and how they're stepping into their own? What have you witnessed with these incredible transformations?
I think that one of the main reasons I'm so excited to support this organization and be a part of it is that it really hones in on what I think is the most valuable aspect of sport, which is learning sort of the power of your own possibility with the support of, people around you and learning lessons along the way. And so one of the things we say with figure skating in Detroit is, on the ice, as in life, you fall and you have to pick yourself back up. On the ice, it's literal. In life, sometimes, of course, it's literal, but more often than not, it's more figurative. And learning that you can pick yourself back up when you fall, and Amy, you're such an incredible example of that with, the things that you were just chatting about with the many very difficult challenges you've faced in your life, to then be able to say, I can pick myself back up, make an incredible contribution to the lives of others, and in doing so, find myself fulfilled and happy along the way, is so powerful. And that's what figure skating in Detroit is really about. We are not necessarily looking to create Olympians. It's not about accolades. It's not about, standing on top of podiums necessarily, but it's about realizing no matter, whether you're falling literally or figuratively, with these tools, belief in yourself, and a supportive community around you, anything is possible. You can pick yourself back up, keep going, and sort of make your dreams come true. And that's why I really believe in figure skating in Detroit, because as an Olympian, as an Olympic medalist, it's not the medals that I value most, that I cherish most. It's not the moments like standing on top of podiums that have the most value to me, but it is the relationships I've built, the perspective and lessons along the way that are, that I cherish most. And figure skating in Detroit really embraces that. And that's really the heart of the work that we do.
That's absolutely beautiful. And we're cheering you on in the amazing way that you're transforming these young women's lives. And I know they're going to get so much out of working with you as a mentor. They're really blessed.
Thank you.
Something else that you're doing off the ice, which is absolutely incredible that we have to share with the world, is this beautiful book, Moonwalk, Forever by Your Side, that you've written. And I have to say, Meryl, first of all, it's one of the most beautifully illustrated books that I've ever seen. And thank you. It helps when your husband's taller. He's better at holding the book up. But, it's become a favorite book in our home. And, I think I mentioned to you that, for me, when our son was born, there were, a handful of books like Love You Forever and On the Night You Were Born that were just really about the bond between the parent and the child. And I'd be asked to come into preschool and, read a book for Maxwell's class. And I would always pick one of these two books. And I couldn't even get through it without weeping because I was just so touched. But it was communicating such a powerful message to children. And that's what you've done in this book. So I just want to share my favorite lines of the book, because I think this is so beautiful, Meryl. You are never alone. I'm forever by your side to cherish your laugh or hold you as you cry. And I just love that, because every night I know Scott and I do a good job of letting our kids know that no matter what, we love them and we will always be there for them. And we want them to feel that support, that we are on their team for the rest of their lives. And that they're also a team too, as brother and sister, and that they're best friends. And it's their beautiful responsibility to support each other in good times and bad. And I think it's so important to have books like Moonwalk, Forever by Your Side, that help teach kids that this is what it means to have this bond with your parents or with your siblings, that it really is this special forever love. So it makes me emotional talking about it, but I want to know what inspired you to write this book, and what you wanted to do in having an impact in the world, because as you can see, I love it so much and I want everyone to read it.
Thank you. Well, I can't tell you how much it means to me, to hear you talk about it and to share it with your kids. And it's still so surreal to me that this piece is in people's homes and they're sharing it with their families. So thank you for saying that. And it really means so much to me. I think that I even from a young age, I think I recognized how incredibly fortunate I was to have this unconditional love from my parents, whether it was just like everyday life or, pursuing my dreams in skating. And I think it was very emotional for me growing up to realize just how special that was. And also, it's rare as well, to experience that unconditional love. And I wish that everyone could experience it. And I think that really experiencing that and having that in my life has been my greatest gift, is knowing what it feels like to be loved unconditionally, to have that unconditional support. It was a part of my journey in skating, but more than anything, I feel that being able to share the value in that and the impact of that message from, parents to children, grandparents to, grandchildren, or whomever it might be, is such an important message. And I was thinking, I wrote it in the spring of 2020, and the world was going through so much. And I was speaking with my friends, many of whom are young parents, young mothers in particular, talking to their kids about, difficult topics and how to help kids understand, so many of these topics that are difficult to broach with young people. And also what so many of my peers had faced. Just as an example, in the gymnastics community, they've faced just such, horrible tragedy, really over the last, and we've seen it in the media. And I think that while as parents, I imagine, as I said, I'm not a parent, you want to prepare your children to face any obstacle that may come their way, any challenge that may come, their way. You want to prepare them for it, but we can't possibly prepare our children for everything that will come their way in life. We can't possibly anticipate everything. And so to be able to really make sure that our kids understand, no matter what you're facing, you can come to me and my love is unconditional and I will be here for you, and you're not alone in facing, the many challenges that are, just a part of life, I think is so important. I know it's been just hugely valuable in my own life. And so to be able to, write the piece and hopefully sort of share the opportunity for parents and their kids to have some time together and just really make sure kids understand that this is, this is there for them. That unconditional love is there for them no matter what it is they're facing. And continue to be a reminder as kids learn and grow and face different challenges throughout the course of their lives. It's just something that I felt strongly about sharing. Yeah, and I think just because it was such a part of my life, I feel so fortunate to be able to, kind of spread that message.
Well, it's a truly beautiful book, and I hope everyone who has kids.
Animation is amazing too, by the way. Just the whole package is beautiful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I should say my wonderful illustrator, Yevgenia Kosenikova, lives in Siberia. And so we were actually working on this digitally as we were quarantining sort of on opposite ends of the globe. And, she was quarantining in Siberia and I was here in Los Angeles. And so she just, as you said, Scott, like I love the illustrations and she deserves all the credit for that. So I was really lucky to have found a great partner in her.
Great team effort. It's a beautiful book. I hope everyone will buy it for their kids, their grandkids, and get to just enjoy the experience of connecting with that special child in your life and making them realize that, as a parent or grandparent, you're always going to be there for them. So we've got one final question, Scott. I'll kick it off to you.
Well, it's simple, complex, but simple. What would you like your legacy to be? What is all encompassing, all the things that you've done, what would you want to share with people or, just have people remember about you?
Oh, thank you. Wow. What a powerful question. I just want to be a good person, and I think that legacy is an interesting thing because in a way it infers, at least in my mind, something grand, right? And one of the things that I've learned through my experience skating is it's often the small sort of personal human connection that other people don't see, that no one's applauding for, no one's, it's not a performance, people aren't standing up for it, that really mean the most. That's what means the most to me. And I think that for me, just being a good person and you know, hopefully embracing those human connections and those relationships that mean the most, is what I want to embrace as my sort of legacy.
One of the most beautiful things about you is that you dedicated your life to something and you became the best, but you're not focused on the medal. You're focused on the lessons you learned along the way, and you really show the appreciation for the people that helped get you there, who loved you and supported you. And you're such an inspiration to millions of people. And I think especially, and it makes me emotional thinking about it, but we didn't have, at least when I grew up in the 80s, there were not a lot of women who achieved this incredible success, broke through the glass ceiling that we could look up to, And so I loved Wonder Woman, the TV show with Linda Carter, because she was just this badass, fierce woman. And I didn't see a lot of those growing up. And so to have a Meryl Davis for like our daughter to grow up and admire, and to say, wow, this is someone who, transcends sports, but just someone who is a good person, who is revered as one of the best in what she did, but more than on the ice, off the ice. Look how she's paying forward these blessings and helping girls in Detroit, learning how to skate, but also how to apply these lessons that you've learned to literally transform their lives. Like, that is your legacy and you're living it now. And I think for so many people, they wait until they're dead or, they're in the sunset years of their lives to start figuring out, how can I leave my mark? And you're just getting started. And it's the most beautiful thing to see. We're grateful for all the times you've given your time and talent to team up with us for good causes. And we want to continue to do that with you because you're just such an amazing human being. And we just feel so blessed to have you in our lives. And we know that you're going to continue to go on and inspire so many young women.
Thank you. That means so much. Thank you guys. It means so much to me. And I appreciate you. I feel the same way about you guys. And I can't wait to follow along with your podcast and hear so many, your perspective, coupled with the amazing stories of the guests you'll have. So congratulations on this exciting journey. And thank you so much for including me.
We are so grateful to our friend Meryl Davis for being with us today and sharing her inspiring story. She is a true champion on and off the ice.
Yeah, Meryl, you rock. Thanks for joining us. And hey, listen, if you had a good time, if you liked the show, head on over to wherever podcasts are found, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review because, hey, we appreciate it. And if you like the show some love. Thank you.
Yes, and we'd love to have you join our Trueheart community. So start changing the world with every search at Trueheart.com. And keep it locked here because we have another amazing episode for you next week. We have a season filled with incredible guests. So keep coming back for more. We can't wait to see you again next time, and have a great week.